The moon is not what you think it is. For 53 years since the last Apollo astronaut left its surface in 1972, we convinced ourselves we understood it. A dead rock, a gray companion, geologically quiet and fully mapped. Then on April 6, 2026, 4 astronauts aboard the Orion spacecraft swung around its far side, the half that permanently faces away from Earth. And what they found there shattered that comfortable illusion in a matter of hours. Their names are Reid Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen. They are the crew of Artemis II, the first time a woman, a black astronaut, and a non-American have ever ventured beyond Earth orbit. They launched from Kennedy Space Center on April 1, 2026, riding atop the most powerful rocket NASA has ever built, the Space Launch System. The trajectory they followed is called a free return, meaning that even if the spacecraft's engine had failed, the moon's gravity would have slung them back toward Earth. Apollo 13 followed the same kind of trajectory. It's the safest path to the moon, which tells you how dangerous this still is. As they passed behind the moon at roughly 4,600 miles above its surface, they became the most isolated humans who have ever lived. For 40 minutes, the moon itself blocked every radio signal between their spacecraft and Earth. No voice from Houston, no telemetry, no abort commands. Nothing but silence, and the oldest, most battered landscape in the solar system stretching out beneath them. Victor Glover tried to describe what he was seeing before the blackout hit. He said that humans probably have not evolved to see what they were seeing, that it was truly hard to describe. Then the signal cut out, and the 4 of them were alone with it. To understand why the far side of the moon is so disturbing, you first need to understand how different it is from the side we see every night. The near side is covered in vast dark plains called Maria, ancient lava flows that filled enormous craters billions of years ago. About 31% of the near side is covered in this volcanic rock. The far side has almost none of it, less than 1%. Instead of smooth plains, the far side is a wall of craters stacked on craters. The crust is roughly 50 kilometers thicker on the far side, and no one fully agrees on why. The leading theory involves a cataclysmic impact near the moon's south pole, so violent that it sent a plume of heat through the entire interior. That impact left behind the largest preserved crater in the entire solar system, the South Pole-Aitken basin. It stretches roughly 20,500 kilometers across and plunges up to 13 kilometers deep. In 2019, scientists found a mass anomaly sitting at least 300 kilometers below the surface of the basin, a blob of dense material weighing at minimum 2.18 quintillion kilograms. The most likely explanation is that it's the metallic core of the asteroid that punched the hole in the first place, still lodged in the moon's mantle after 4 billion years. The Artemis II crew became the first humans to see the eastern edge of this basin with their own eyes. The Apollo astronauts never saw it. Their flight paths didn't take them over the right parts of the far side. Artemis II's trajectory was different by design, sweeping closer and at an angle that exposed roughly 21% of the far side to direct sunlight. One of the science targets was the Orion Basin, a nearly 600-mile wide impact scar that straddles the boundary between the near and far sides. The crew also observed Reiner Gamma, a bright swirling pattern on the near side that aligns with a localized magnetic anomaly. The moon has no global magnetic field, yet scattered patches of magnetized rock persist in its crust like ghosts of something that used to protect it. Glover became fixated on the terminator, the shifting line between the sunlit and shadowed halves of the moon. He radioed that the terminator was full of magic, that the islands of light and valleys looked like black holes you could fall straight through to the center of the moon. The crew also noted color variations across the surface that no orbiter image had fully captured. Shades of brown and green on the near side, subtle blue tints in certain regions. These color shifts reveal mineral composition and relative age, information that could reshape maps of the moon's geological history. In 2023, researchers detected a thermal anomaly buried beneath the far side surface, a region about 50 kilometers wide that registers roughly 10 degrees Celsius warmer than everything around it. The likely source is a massive buried block of granite, a rock type common on Earth but almost unheard of on the moon because granite requires water and plate tectonics to form. The finding raises a question nobody expected to be asking in 2026: what else is still warm under there? Then there are the lava tubes. Radar data suggests the moon harbors underground tunnel networks formed by ancient lava flows, with entrance pits visible from orbit that could lead to caverns large enough to shelter entire structures. What might be inside them is entirely speculative. The Artemis II crew also witnessed something no human had ever seen from this distance: a total solar eclipse from lunar orbit. As Orion dipped behind the moon, the sun slid behind the lunar disk and disappeared. For nearly 54 minutes, totality lasted, far longer than any eclipse visible from Earth. Hansen and Wiseman both noted that during the eclipse, they spotted what appeared to be impact flashes on the lunar surface, momentary bursts of light that could have been small meteorites striking the unprotected far side. The moon has no atmosphere, no magnetic field to speak of, nothing between its surface and the full violence of space. Every micrometeorite, every particle of solar wind, every burst of galactic cosmic radiation hits the far side with nothing to slow it down. For centuries, observers on Earth have reported brief flashes of light on the lunar surface. The Artemis II crew may have witnessed at least one of these events during the eclipse. Artemis II's crew is spending 10 days in deep space during solar maximum, the peak of the sun's 11-year activity cycle, when the risk of solar particle events is at its highest. A severe solar storm can push radiation to nearly lethal doses within hours. Researchers are testing everything from experimental drug therapies to dietary supplements, because if astronauts are ever going to live beyond Earth's magnetic shield for months at a time, engineering alone won't be enough. Biology has to be part of the answer. During the communications blackout, the crew was beyond help. If a solar particle event had struck during those 40 minutes, mission control would not have known until the signal returned. 4 people sealed inside a capsule the size of a large van, separated from Earth by 2,160 miles of solid lunar rock, surrounded by a landscape of ancient violence, bathed in radiation that our species did not evolve to survive. When the signal came back, mission control erupted. Koch described the moment with clarity. She said that when you have that perspective and compare it to home, it reminds you how much we have in common. That everything we need, Earth provides. And you can't truly understand that until you've had the perspective of the other. The crew named 2 craters during the flyby. One they called Integrity, after their nickname for Orion. The other they called Carol, after Wiseman's late wife. Artemis II set the record for the farthest distance any human has traveled from Earth, reaching an estimated 252,756 miles. The entire flyby observation period lasted 7 hours. The crew took thousands of photographs. Those images are going to matter. NASA has said that the photographs could help researchers better understand how the moon formed, how the solar system evolved, and where to send the next missions. Future Artemis missions will land astronauts on the moon's surface, and the crew's descriptions of terrain features will inform where those landings happen. The far side is already contested territory, not politically yet, but scientifically. China's Chang'e 4 lander touched down on the far side in 2019. In 2024, Chang'e 6 collected samples from the far side and returned them to Earth. The far side also offers something no other place in the inner solar system can provide: radio silence. It is permanently shielded from the electromagnetic noise of human civilization. For radio astronomers, the far side is the quietest listening post imaginable. Telescopes placed there could detect frequencies that Earth's own ionosphere blocks. opening a window into the early universe that has never been available before. We have spent centuries staring at the moon's face and calling it understood. We landed on it 6 times and collected rocks from a handful of carefully chosen sites, all on the near side. We built a model of the entire moon based on a local data set. That is like landing a spacecraft in the Sahara Desert and declaring that the whole Earth is made of sand. The far side is where the real story lives. A landscape so ancient and battered that it records impacts the near side long ago erased. A basin so large it may have shifted the moon on its axis. A metallic mass buried so deep that it warps the local gravity field. Unexplained heat sources. Sealed lava tubes. A crust so thick and so different that it challenges the basic models of how moons cool and solidify. Glover said it simply after Orion cleared the far side and Earth reappeared. He said the moon is not just a poster in the sky that goes by. It's a real place. He's right, and the more we learn about it, the less comfortable that fact becomes. Because the far side isn't just different from what we expected. It's different in ways that keep forcing us to rewrite the story. The granite that shouldn't be there. The mass that doesn't match. The asymmetry that no single theory explains. The magnetic ghosts imprinted in a crust that lost its field billions of years ago. The moonquakes that Apollo's seismometers detected, shallow tremors that suggest something is still moving inside a world we told ourselves was dead. Every answer the far side gives us opens 3 more questions. The Artemis II crew is on their way home now. They'll splash down in the Pacific. And when they do, they'll carry with them the first human observations of the moon's hidden face in over half a century. Not the sanitized version from orbiter cameras and processed datasets. The version that made a Navy captain and test pilot say that what he was looking at was beyond what human beings had evolved to see. The moon is not what we thought it was. And we have barely begun to find out what it actually is. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, comments, and subscribe for next new informative videos.